We are well into the afternoon now, which means it's time for the Performance Poetry Hour. Yes, I'm a performance poet and I do tend to make certain that there's always some spoken word content at Colchester Pride. We've got a few contributions today from some poets, some of which who have been with us before, others would have been with us this year for the first time, and at least one who we desperately hope to get next year, who hasn't been with us before. I do like to have some performance poetry within the mix. Now, our first performance poet is someone who is on the trans spectrum, like myself. They're tall, like myself, skinny, like myself, and have long brown hair, like myself. But that's not why they're in the lineup, I can assure you. It is a completely different person with a very different style. They're a writer, a performer, and their name is Edalia Day. I first encountered them watching a show that they had created about Hamlet. Yes, Shakespeare's Hamlet, but performed as a video game. Trust me, it's an amazing piece of work. They also created a show called Too Pretty to Punch, which was specifically about the trans experience, and that's been touring around, which I've also seen. I won't say too much more about Edalia because they're going to explain a little bit more about their work before giving us an excerpt of another piece. So please, settle back and enjoy Edalia Day.
Hi, my name is Edalia Day. Happy Pride times, happy solidarity. Stay safe and make sure you find fellow LGBT people to share your life with, because that makes life magical. I'm going to do a poem from my play Too Pretty to Punch. I was touring it, then lockdown happened. Now that's postponed. I've got a version of it online. It's all about gender, tackling transphobia, celebrating gender diversity. But I've got this poem. It's not actually in the show. I don't know why I said that. It's in the book. But it's called Preaching to the Choir, and it's about who I wrote this show for. And it's great to get to perform in places with a huge queer community, but this show is for places where that's not possible. And this is my poem about that. I didn't make this show for the queer community. I didn't make it for the theatre community. I didn't make it for London, for Manchester, for the glittering prides, the rainbows, pendants, the slogans and memes online. I didn't make this for the woke, the backpatters, the cultural hubs or the queer hotspots, the trigger-happy retweeters, the culturally esteemed, the proud badged or the party all-nighters defiantly celebrating finally being free. Though I'm happy you're here. Your existence warms me, and this is for you, really. I just didn't make it that way. I made this show for the places you can't preach to the choir because there is no choir. Because the choir got disbanded as soon as it got set up. Because the choir got disowned. Because the choir got set on fire and it's hard to find the right notes when there are no walls to your home. Because the choir gets beaten in the streets and knows that if they ever sing they won't be safe when they're alone. I made this show for the choristers who pretend they don't sing, who hold their mouths shut in gatherings lest the wrong notes slip out, people's ears twitch and suddenly... Or where you chose the luxury of a well-funded prison over the risk of being exiled from everything you've ever known. For the people who maybe never will, but really want to belong. I made this for places where there are people who don't think we exist, and where you'd think twice before trying to prove them wrong. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah. Happy solidarity, happy pride. Be proud.
I hope you enjoyed that poem. I certainly did. Now, our next poem is from another East Anglian-based performer. Not everyone is Colchester-based in Colchester Pride, although we do have a certain bias towards our local performers and supporting new work generated within this community. Our next poet is a Norwich-based performer. They're very political. They're also very eccentric. They're wonderful. They write, they perform, both in poetry and in prose. They're also an artist. Their name is Vince Laws, and they have created a lovely selection of rather quirky, rather eccentric work. So please, enjoy the wonder that is Vince Laws.
Happy Pride, Colchester! Everyone is different and everyone's the same because we all came from the same ball of slime. A long time ago, before you were born, creepies came crawling over the lawn. Some creepies grew lungs, and some creepies grew legs, and some had aerials on their heads. Some creepies swim, and some creepies squeak. But all of us creepies are completely unique. So if someone tells you, you're not the same, nod your head wisely and remind them they're slime. Why is pride important? Let me tell you why. The bird that lives life in a cage lives no life at all. The bird that never sees the sky, never feels the sun, is like the caged canary that only knows one song. Imagine setting that bird free, letting it be the best canary it could ever be. That's why pride's important, and it belongs to everyone, because we all deserve to be our best, to see the sky, the sun. Colchester, once you were canaries, but now that you have pride, I can see your eagle soar across a rainbow sky. Stay proud. There once was a dog who kept ostriches behind his cottage like hostages. Asked if they sing, said it's a terrible din, but they make the most interesting sausages. Boom, boom. Two tiny spits of snow fall into an empty sky. Two tiny spits of snow drop into the dark. Little could they know, wow, this could be the start of something big. Avalanche! You came without warning. Avalanche! I keep on falling. Avalanche! Over and over and further in love. Look up at the stars above and join them up so they spell love. Know that I am looking too, spelling love right back at you.
We're wrapping up our little poetry selection with a contribution from a performer who's very close to my heart. Well, literally, they'd have to be. It's me. Yes, you don't get away that easily. I am doing some performance today. So in a break from all convention, well, certainly all television grammar, I'm going to hand over to myself. I wanted to do a little poem next. I was asked to compose a poem about this place, the outhouse, for the masquerade ball. So I'd like to share that with you. And it's called Upon East Hill. Upon East Hill, grand mansions lined, an elevation quite refined. Blue plaques now mark late residents of note. But smaller than these stately piles, a building stands renowned for miles, whose manifesto wins this lady's vote. Upon East Hill a pride flag flies, which even under Essex skies, bled dry by winter's light of summer's lush, The rainbow stripes defy the grey, whilst dancing in the wind all day, like paint upon a carefree artist's brush. Beside the tailors, on the right, this standard flutters day and night as if atop some foreign embassy. It's like dual nationality. One gender can't claim sovereignty, where rainbow passports gain you sanctuary. Push wide the purple-panelled doors, ascend the stairs, cross new-laid floors, and take your ease on sofas with some tea. To younger souls I must just say, the outhouse did not start this way. Support was scant for those like you or me. In winter 1979, it started with one hired line dispensing once a week to those who phone advice on what's on, where and when, and how one might meet other men with inclinations of a similar tone. The Colchester gay switchboard stood alone to try and do some good and counsel those who needed their support. Premises were residential, calls all strictly confidential, and switchboard news one A4 typed report. This was the 1970s, when updates were made out of trees and landlines were required should people phone, because it was, lest we forget, before the tweeting internet, much easier to think oneself alone. What started as one ringing phone is now a home to call our own, where counselling's dispensed now face to face, where bricks and mortar proudly hold whole library shelves of stories told by people fighting hard to claim their place. We're equal in this atmosphere where it's all right to just be queer, or allies popping by to say hello. There's weekend drop-ins 10 till 1, so why not come and join the fun and give your glad rags reason to be aired, whilst downstairs in the meeting room the Pride Committee is known to fume till any other business is declared. She'll wipe the plates, he'll wash the mugs, they'll pat the cushions, square the rugs, all pronouns check to see the lights are dark. Then lock the house that's quietly gay and slip off till next Saturday to light up winter with that rainbow spark. Upon East Hill a pride flag flies, which even under Essex skies, bled dry by winter's light of summer's lush, the rainbow stripes beguile the grey, whilst dancing in the wind all day, like paint upon the blithest artist's brush.